All right, everyone. So, Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 9 is really close to being released. I think it's going to be released in about 3 days from when I'm recording this video. And the official Naruto website did put out another page to get people hyped for the release of the newest chapter. And they normally don't do this. Ever since Boruto Two Blue Vortex started, we only ever got one page for every chapter that's about to be released. We've never gotten 2 pages. And it is interesting that they chose to do that with this chapter. And it might have something to do with what happens at the end of this chapter, or at least what possibly happens at the end of this chapter. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm kind of saving that for its own video because if I go into that in this video, I feel like it's probably going to make the video too long, and I want to save it for its own video because I want this video to just be focused on this page that was released to us on the official Naruto website. Now, before I talk about it, I'm going to give you guys one chance to click off the video if you want to go into this chapter completely clean, because even though this is officially released by Shueisha themselves, I still want to give you guys a chance to click off now because it still contains something that does happen in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 9. So if you want to go into the chapter completely clean, this is your chance to click off the video. All right, so in this page right here, we see Jura essentially confronting Shikadai. Now, there's a lot of context for what's actually happening here. Obviously, we don't know what's happening before this moment. We don't know what happens after this. We might happen, and like I said, I'm saving that for its own video. But just based off this page alone, what we see happen is Shikadai trying to use what looks like the Shadow Strangle Jutsu to keep Jura in place. And Jura obviously not really all that worried about it. And he's basically surprised that Shikadai is even doing this because according to a fan translated image of what according to a fan translation of what's actually being said here. Now, keep in mind, it is a fan translation. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but based on what it says, Shikadai is basically telling Jura not to look away because you're still dealing with us. And then Jura basically says, okay, and then is about to fire a Bijuu Dama from his Rinnegan. Now, this is interesting because we've never seen this happen before. Now, obviously, Jura being a product of the Ten Tails should be able to use the Bijuu Dama because, as we saw in Naruto, every Jinchuriki is able to fire off a Bijuu Dama. Naruto is able to do it. Killer Bee is able to do it. Every other Jinchuriki is able to do it. The tailed beasts themselves are capable of firing Bijuu Damas. And even, of course, the Ten Tails is capable of doing that. So Jura being able to do that isn't really that much of a surprise. It's just that he's doing it seemingly from his Rinnegan, specifically his right Rinnegan. And I'm wondering if the Shinju, like the tailed beasts, or more specifically, I guess their Jinchuriki, because they are essentially products of the Ten Tails chakra and Code's chakra, is it possible that they're sort of like pseudo Jinchuriki, where they're basically beings who can focus the tailed beast chakra, sort of like, again, how the Jinchuriki can focus the tailed beasts that they have sealed inside of them, and they can use it in ways that the tailed beasts themselves actually can't do. And I'm wondering if maybe that's what's happening here, or maybe this is Jura's Rinnegan ability, because if you remember, just like with the Mangekyo Sharingan, every Rinnegan grants you your own unique ability. Madara's Rinnegan allowed him to create Limbo clones. Sasuke's Rinnegan granted him access to Aminata Chikara. And I'm wondering if maybe that's just what we're seeing here. This is Jura's Rinnegan ability because we see him closing his left eye, keeping his right eye open, and then activating a Bijuu Dama. And I'm wondering if maybe this is just his Rinnegan ability, or if it's not, and maybe there's another reason why he closed his left eye and is keeping his right eye open. And that in and of itself does have something to do with his Rinnegan ability, and the Bijuu Dama is just stacked on top of it. That's just what I'm guessing is probably happening. Again, I don't know. It's really confusing to try and, I guess, figure out what's happening here because there's a lot of context that we're missing, and we're not going to figure out what's actually happening until we either get the chapter or we get some more spoilers that give us more context for what the hell is even happening here in this moment. And that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to what's actually being released here. Although I am curious if maybe this is connected to what we saw in the other page that was released in the official Naruto website, because in that other page, we saw Boruto in the village and he's confronting Kawaki. And I'm wondering if the reason why he's in the village is because either he sensed the Shinju in Konoha, or maybe one of his toads that he probably left there saw the Shinju in Konoha and they warned him, hey, just so you know, these guys you fought earlier, they're in Konoha right now and they're confronting Himawari. And then Boruto immediately, of course, wants to go back to help his sister and, of course, help his friends, even though they're actually trying to kill him, because he's, of course, going to defend them because he knows that they're not doing this of their own volition, that they've been manipulated by omnipotence. And he is going to protect them, even though they, in their minds, want to kill him. And that's just, again, me speculating what's going to happen. Now, like I said, there are some other spoilers for what happens in this chapter out there, but I don't really know whether or not those spoilers are credible. But even if they are, there's still a lot of context that's missing because they're basically just bullet points of the main things that happen in Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 9. And while, yeah, I could still technically make a video talking about it, I don't really feel comfortable talking about it without getting proper context. Now, usually when spoilers come out before a chapter, even though they still don't give us everything, there's still enough there for me to make a video to discuss them while still making it clear that, hey, there's a lot of context that's missing here. So keep in mind, I'm not making a final judgment on the chapter because I need the full chapter to get the full context in order for me to fully understand what's actually happening. Honestly, there's already enough people in the Boruto fandom that like to jump to conclusions. I really just don't want to be one of them. And yeah, like I said, if we do get some more spoilers that add at least a little bit more context, then okay, I'll make a video about it. But the ones we have right now, like I said, are just bullet points. And I feel like I need just a little bit more before I am comfortable making a video about it. And I will make a video about excuse me, when we do eventually get them. But for now, I think I'll just wait a bit and I'll just put this video out there where I'm just discussing this one page. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like, share this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, ring the bell for notifications. And I hope I'll see you guys for at least my full review of Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 9 when that chapter is officially released. Bye for now.